This is a recap for Monday, November 9th. So today we started working on multiplying decimals, and we had a bit of an introduction, Jeopardy style, and then students took notes on how to multiply, for example, 3.77 times 2.88, and we talked about the advice of ignoring the decimal. So for example, let me get my pen here. If we say, let's ignore this decimal, and we're just going to treat 3.77 kind of like it was 377, like right here. Let's do this. So let's say that we just ignored that and just turned that into 377. The question that we asked is, what math are we doing when we say ignore? Because ignore is not really a mathematical word. So when we say ignore, what do we really mean? Because ignore is not really mathematical. And really what we say is multiply. So multiply by 10, multiply by 100, multiply by 1,000, multiply by whatever it takes so that 3.77 becomes 377. So in order to do that, we multiply by 100. That's two place values, two factors of 10. And then when we're done, we divide those back in, and in this case we have another one, another multiple of 10 to multiply out, or factor of 10, and that's right there. So that's 2.8, and so how does 2.8 really become 228? So to go from 2.8 to 28 is not just ignore or get rid of or pretend, it's multiply by 10. So notice that we have now multiplied by 110. So this is three factors of 10. It's like 10 to the third. So that's 1,000, and that's 3 zeros. And that's exactly how many decimal places we have in the answer. So just a quick introduction to how we are thinking about the method when we multiply decimals. So let's get rid of this picture. It's just a screenshot of the slideshow. And in the video, he did the same thing. So I'm going to do this one more time. He said, to ignore, the advice was to ignore the decimal point in 3.91. So 3.91, and so we replaced that advice of ignoring to multiplying, which is much more mathematical. So that's 391. So we multiply 6 times 391 and get 2,346. Then we take 2,346 and we do the opposite of this, which is divide by 100, so that we end up at the answer that we should. So we're going to divide this by 100. That will bring the answer back in line with what it should be. To divide by 100 means we take the decimal, which currently is right here, and we move it to the left two places. That's divide by 10, that's divide by 100. So the answer is 2346. Now the shortcut that he described is count the number of the number of digits to the right of the decimal point. And that's true, there's 2 there, and there are 2 right here. We'll do it here. So 2 there, and 2 right here. So you put the decimal point right here. But what we focused on today was how to understand why that works. And we'll demonstrate that with the problems that we stopped on. They were right here. I said I'd put these in the recap, so here they are. So let me do each one of these for you. So we'll start with 8 times 12.3. So that's going to be 8 times 123 and multiplied by 10. That's 948. I'm going to divide that answer by 10 to get 98.4. So I'm going to make my pencil a little bit smaller. I think that'd be too thin. Then let's do 5 times 14.51. I'm going to multiply that by 100. So it's 1,451 times 5. I get 7,255. I'm going to divide now like this. So here's my decimal point. Divide by 10, divide by 100. So this is equal to 72.55. Let's do 9 times 0.88. I'm going to multiply this times 100 to get 88. Times that by 9. Get 792. I divided by, or multiplied by 100, so now I'm going to undo that by dividing by 100. So the decimal point is right here, so I'm going to move it. There's divided by 10, divided by 100. So this is equal to 7.92. And on this one, we're going to do 3. So I'll do the multiplication right here by 10, 100, 1,000. So we multiplied by 1,000 so that we could do 3 times 10. And that's 30. So I have 30 that's 1,000 times too big. The decimal point is right here. So I'm going to divide it by 1,000. There's 10, 100, 1,000. I need to fill in a 0 right here. So this is equal to 0.03. We can leave that last trailing 0 off. We don't really need it. It's not incorrect. If you put a 0 right here, you can put as many as you want past that. It's not going to change the value. And then on the last one, a quarter is, so we've got this quarter. And it's only 1.75 millimeters thick. So it's really thin. And if I stack 1,000 of these on top of each other, this direction, 1,000, I've got quite a bit of money. And we'd like to know how high that stack is. So we're going to do 1.75 times 1,000. And in this case, we don't need to multiply and divide away our decimal. What we can do is just our shortcut. So 1.75 times 10 moves it one place, times 100 is 175, times 1,000 is one more place, so I'm going to fill that in right there. So it would be 1,750 millimeters high. And that is a recap for Monday, November 9th.